Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So in this one here, I want to talk about the episode 24 trailer, but I more want to focus on some of the other aspects to it that I didn't actually talk about. And there's a lot of shots that I really did ignore in my other trailer breakdown. So yeah, because there was a shot of Daryl actually that I never saw. I don't know why I didn't see it. Maybe I just completely ignored it, but I never actually saw this shot. And this actually, I mean, based off of the way he looks and stuff, I'm actually I'm surprised because yeah, maybe it gives more context as to why he got knocked out there in the hospital. But anyways, we'll talk about that in this video. So before going any further, obviously please be aware this video will contain spoilers for The Walking Dead season 11 episode 23, and also make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get more Walking Dead content like this. The very final episode is airing in 12 days from now, and yeah, I'm very excited. Honestly, it feels like the longest wait ever. Like, it's been 2 days. It really has felt, I guess, closer to 2 days. It's probably felt like 3 days, but like, it just feels like that's so far away, to be honest. It really feels like that last episode is just so far away. Like, in terms of them, really marking that last episode, I believe that's going to be starting after this Sunday here. So this Sunday, definitely, I'm excited for this Sunday as well, because every single person will be caught up with The Walking Dead. Like, the people who watch it on cable and stuff, they will actually be caught up and they'll watch it on cable. And then I don't know what we're going to get that Sunday, but I'm probably going to check out Talking Dead. And then, yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see. It's going to be a really exciting night this Sunday because everyone's going to be caught up. They'll watch 23. Talking Dead will air. Yeah, the build is just for that last episode ever, right? And then just expect a lot of stuff to come out like that night. And then I guess the week leading up to the finale, right? So yeah, I'm very excited here. So now to talk about the trailer here, I do want to talk about some of the scenes that we have here because there's a lot of shots here of certain characters in certain places, and you do see certain objects around that I actually do wonder if it hints at, ways that they can escape, and also just what's going on in general here. So we do have this shot here of Eugene, and if you notice, there's like this red, like, what is it, ambulance truck or something like that. I do believe this is from the Commonwealth. There's actually another shot here where you see the walkers, reaching up and stuff, and they're actually on this van here. So I think the exciting thing about this is that I think we have some context as to what's going on here, right? Like, I think you see this here. Obviously, people are probably standing on this van here. You go back to the shot of Eugene, it looks like it's going to happen around here. It looks like Eugene and a bunch of other characters, they're probably planning to get on this here, and they're trapped and they're trying to find a way to get on top of this vehicle. And I do believe for the most part everyone will make it on top of the vehicle. There might be several of them as well, but I feel like that gives us a lot more context to this shot here of Rosita, because for some reason in this shot here it does seem like she's a bit higher up from the ground. Like, obviously you can't tell, but just based off of the angle and stuff, it does seem like she is standing on some type of vehicle or whatever, and she's looking down at the zombies. And yeah, she's obviously trying to get out of the situation here. Whatever happens from this, though, it seems like they're all gonna eventually get to this one house here, and I'm guessing the plan literally is to jump on this like piping right here, climb up to this window, and then yeah, that's just how they're gonna escape. I personally, if I was in this situation, I don't know how I would survive this, to be honest. Like, I really feel like in this situation, it's sort of unbelievable to expect every single character to be able to climb up a wall like that. I think I would have a good chance to do it, like jumping on that piping right there, as long as it doesn't break off or whatever. You should be fine. You should be able to climb up, but again, you have to have that strength to do that. And I don't know if a lot of people have the strength to do that. Definitely not everyone. And so to expect every person to be able to do that, I think is kind of insane. So we'll see how the scene plays out. Maybe, this shot just looks really crazy, but I'm just going based off that Rosita shot too, where she's actually holding on to the piping here. So maybe everyone for the most part doesn't jump to that piping and they actually jump to the window, but maybe Rosita, like, she doesn't do it and somehow, she holds on to that. And then maybe maybe that's how she dies in that scene, right? But yeah, I'm really interested in seeing how this is all going to play out, because I think that is so unrealistic, to be honest. I just don't know how everyone could jump onto that piping right there and actually climb up that wall. I think maybe most characters can do it, but like every single character, can you just expect that from everyone? Again, we'll have to wait and see how the scene plays out. Like, literally, maybe they have like a ladder or something across at first, and a lot of characters can climb across safely, but maybe it falls down, and then there's a couple characters left over, and they're like, okay, well, now what do we do? And so now they're forced to jump onto this, right? So maybe it plays out like that. But regardless of that anyways, it looks like it's a really stressful situation here. And we do get this shot here of Eugene and Gabriel, and they're just saying to, like, come on, jump, like, you can make it. And they seem very, very stressed out. I really believe that Rosita's going to die here. Like, I'm just, like, you have to have a big death here. This is going to be a pretty big opening sequence. I think this will be probably the first 20 minutes of the episode, just because there's a lot of stuff that they have to get through, right? Maybe first 20 to 30 minutes, depending on what you want to do with other characters, what you want to show Pamela Milton doing, you know, breaking out Mercer, what you want to show Daryl doing and stuff. So maybe a lot of that plays out at the same time as this, and so you can kind of get into some of that here. So maybe this is like the first third of the episode, right? Like the first act here of the finale. I think it's going to be crazy. Obviously, we saw at the end of episode 23, it just looked insane. It was probably the best thing that we've watched all season. And so you get a shot like this and you see Eugene and Gabriel, and I'm like, it's weirdly suspicious to have these two characters here. I'm just going to say that. To actually have these two characters, you know, looking out this window, when we know that, you know, based off of the Comic-Con trailer, that Rosita's going to be struggling to get up into this window here. So unless they're really trolling us here, like, I think this is going to be a death here. Like, if it doesn't happen and Rosita doesn't die at this point, like, and I'm not saying this because of Rosita or whatever, I'm just saying, like, if there's no bigger death at all in the finale, definitely people are going to criticize it, because it's already a big criticism, right? People are really criticizing the fact that there's been no big deaths at all. Like, it's been pretty quiet here for a while, and I think that's going to change with the finale here. I really do. I do have a lot of faith in this. If we just kind of look at the context of all of this here, it just really seems like, you know, it is going to go down this way. I mean, we have a lot of shots from other, you know, moments in the trailer that happen later on. We don't have those characters around, like Rosita's not around anywhere. We do have Gabriel around later on as well. But then again, we also don't have Eugene around too. So it's hard to read into that too much there, right? But yeah, I think this opening sequence here is going to be a pretty big one here. I think that it's going to be exciting right from the second that the very last episode airs. And I just can't wait to see how it's all going to play out, how we transition from all of this into some of the other shots here. So let's actually get into some of that here. So we have a shot here of Maggie and Negan, and it looks like at this point here, they're gearing up to fight the Commonwealth. So Maggie and Negan are obviously with our characters right now. I believe they're probably going to get separated. It seems like some characters do get separated. Like, it just kind of seems like it. Like, Daryl and Judith obviously got away. Maggie and Negan might go somewhere else with other characters. It's possible that, you know, during the opening sequence there, or that first act when they're all trying to survive these climbing walkers and stuff, it's very possible that a lot of our group gets separated completely. And so maybe in this shot here, say Rosita does die, maybe Maggie and Negan don't even know at this point, right? But Maggie is gearing up for battle here. You can see because of this weapon right here. It actually looks like she actually has that later on as well, because there is a shot later on of Maggie with that same gun. So we know that there's going to be some sort of transition here, right? Like, there's going to be that first act where it's just all chaos, and then there's going to be like the second act of the episode where there's this transition to the very final battle. They're all sort of gearing up for war and stuff. I'm also going to include this shot here in the very first act of the episode as well. We have this shot here of Daryl and Judith, and obviously Daryl's getting into the hospital here. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because if you look at Daryl here, he doesn't have a black eye or anything like that, and we know he's going to get knocked out basically, right? But there's a shot here in the trailer where he's actually in a different outfit, and it looks like he actually has a black eye here. So yeah, like, what happens here? I really wonder if it gives us context as to why he gets knocked out. Like, maybe he actually gets hit by a Commonwealth soldier or something like that. Like, I could see that being the case. Something's gonna happen anyways. But yeah, really cool shot. This was actually the shot that I totally missed from the trailer. I don't know why I missed it. But yeah, really incredible shot here. And I mean, I think this is gonna be from the second act of the episode here. I think at this point, they're likely, like, I don't even think he's facing Commonwealth soldiers at this point. I think it's gonna be walkers, because there's a lot of shots here. And there's actually a shot of Aaron. There's a Commonwealth soldier just behind him, and they're struggling to keep these walkers back, right? And Aaron at this point, I'm trying to think of where he is. I believe he's with Lydia in that vehicle. So we're going to see how he escapes that somehow, right? Is Jerry still alive? Like, there's a lot of questions I have. Like, Luke and Jules, we know are still alive, but I don't remember seeing Jerry or even Elijah there at the very end of episode 23. So yeah, I guess we'll learn the fate of those two characters. Is Elijah, is Jerry still alive? I'm assuming that they might be. It's possible one of them is going to die here, but somehow Aaron and Lydia are going to be rescued, and they're going to eventually end up here at the Commonwealth, helping everyone sort of try to, you know, fight this Walker horde off. And I think that's really crazy, to be honest. I'm really happy that Aaron's going to be back with our main group though, because it just really felt like that whole group just sort of went on a weird mission. Like, their whole mission was to go to Oceanside and come back. Well, they didn't even go to Oceanside because Luke was there, and it's so weird that they just decided to not go there. I mean, I guess they learned that the Commonwealth took that place over, so there's no point in going there. But just yeah, I don't know. Just a weird storyline, but I'm happy that they're back here. It's gonna be really cool to see how he actually does get back. And what happened to Lydia too? Like, is Lydia fine? Because I know Aaron, after they cut off his arm there, I think in season 9, episode 2, he was out of it for quite a bit, right? And so is Lydia gonna be out of it, or is she gonna be fine? Like, we'll have to wait and see on that. But we do see some shots here, some really epic shots of walkers actually breaking through the glass. And obviously this is sort of I guess it's paying tribute to season 1 because it happens in that store. If you remember, I don't know what episode it is, if it's episode 2 or 3, but I know the walkers are like, they break through the glass and stuff. I think one grabs a brick and then breaks it. I wonder if that's what's happening here. Like, if you actually look at the right hand of this walker, like the walker's right hand, maybe that walker's holding something. Like, it's hard to tell because it just kind of looks like there's an object there. It could just be the walker's hand, but that would be a nice little Easter egg or call back to the very first season. Just have a walker grab a brick or something, a rock, and just like break the glass, and then they're able to get in. Because they're going to be doing a bunch of stuff like that, right? Like in this episode, we're going to be seeing so many Easter eggs, so many callbacks. Like I feel like even in my review, I'm going to have to do a separate video talking about every single Easter egg in the finale, because I think this one here, they're going to give us a lot, right? And then we get this shot here of Gabriel, and I didn't actually talk about the context of this in my video. I just sort of talked about the final battle here. And I'm not going to talk about that in this video, just because we already talked about it, but I will do videos on that very final scene and stuff like that. I mean, we literally have like, what, 12 days here, so I'm not really too much in a rush to get all of it done, although I guess I should probably try to get everything done for the most part by this Sunday, because I imagine next week there's going to be a lot more to talk about. There's going to be a lot of new stuff released. But Gabriel here, it looks like, you know, he's aiming down at, I don't know who it's going to be or whatever, but we do have a Commonwealth soldier here who sort of turns on him. So it's interesting because like I don't know the context of this scene. First of all, Gabriel at this point might already be aware or literally has seen Rosita die. So that's some crazy context of this scene right here. Like, Rosita might already be dead. And yeah, that's insane. But this Commonwealth soldier sort of turns on Gabriel. And if you're looking in the back, like, there's a lot of Commonwealth soldiers in the back. I don't know if they're all doing the same thing. And so you do got to wonder about just how a lot of this is going to play out here, you know, in terms of our characters dealing with the Commonwealth soldiers. Because I think some Commonwealth soldiers are going to be on our side. And it's possible this soldier right here was actually on our side. And then maybe Pamela Milton gave a speech, maybe said something and sort of scared everyone. And so maybe that's why that the soldier turned on Gabriel here. Like, I really wonder if it's going to be one of those things where there's a lot of back and forth where Pamela Milton's given the speech, and then our characters on our side are giving speeches, and everyone's basically trying to end all of this here. And so maybe we see a lot of people switching sides, right? Like, some people are like, oh no, actually, I'm gonna go back to siding with Pamela Milton, or some other people who side with Pamela Milton and siding with our group, right? I think what's actually going to be going down here, and we'll talk about this in another video, but I really feel like it's just going to be our group and everyone really just trying to stop the fighting, to be like, you know what? Why are you doing this here? Like, no one wants you in power anymore. Pamela Milton's not going to like to hear that, but it is the truth. You know, most people here at the Commonwealth don't want her in power anymore, but she's just always in power. People want to change here, and she doesn't want to, you know, allow that change. And I think people are just going to be fighting for that here a lot. And I think that's really going to be basically the final moments here. And that's why I still think Judith is going to come out and she's going to be the one that makes the speech. And that's where I think Pamela Milton's going to lose all of her power. I think Judith making that speech, I think, is going to make the biggest difference. But yeah, anyways, yeah, I just wanted to focus on that in this video. I wanted to talk about some of the shots that we actually, or at least that I ignored anyways. I didn't see a lot of the shots here. I actually didn't talk about a lot of stuff with Aaron and what was actually happening with him, how he gets back to you know, our group, the shot with Daryl, some of the context to how they're actually going to escape this area here in the first act, which I think is going to be really crazy. Like, I think this last episode, just based off of what I'm seeing so far, is going to be for sure the best episode of the season so far. Like, I think that's already a given. The best episode of season 10? I think maybe. We'll have to wait and see. Like, I mean, I would say that as well. Could this last episode be better than Rick's final episode? That's a question I have. And I'm not going into it, you know, believing it's going to be, because it's, you know, that's a lot. But if you are, like, if any of you guys are going in with that expectation, I totally don't blame you, because it is the very last episode ever, right? So yeah, anyways, I'm gonna leave it here. Definitely post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.